This is Aidan Coops. This is my assignment 2 for Athlete's Lifestyle. To start with, we're going to be talking about different factors to consider when giving two different types of media interviews. The first one I've shown is television. It is very important to give clear speech on television so people know exactly what you're saying, and it can show what sort of person you are and if you take pride in how you talk. So, for example, if you were to talk with lots of slang, it could potentially give off a bad example to the public, depending on what sort of interview it was. You need to show that you're professional enough to set a good example to the people who are watching. An example of this is when you're watching, say, the news. You never see the interviewer talking slang. You always see them looking professional and acting professionally. Another one is prompt sheets. As you notice, when they do sort of talk on the news, they have their desk that will have a laptop on, and you also see this with people doing interviews as well. They'll stare back at their laptop and it will have subheadings, just like my screencast does now, telling them what they can talk about and questions they can ask, because people can be hit under pressure. This then means that they can make the interview look unprofessional and it can sort of mess it up a little bit, whereas with this, it's got clear things that they need to talk about so they can get through it properly, and it gives the people who are watching a good insight as to what that person who's been interviewed is talking about. The next one is rehearsals. These are good because it allows you to do a run through so it goes through smoothly. So if there's any problems, it can be cleared up straight away. This is a factor that should always be considered, as you can never get something too spot on. The more times you do it, the better it will become. This means that you can give a quality interview. Say, for example, if you were interviewing a professional athlete, you'd want to do a rehearsal with them quickly so that there's no mess ups, and it looks good not only for you but also looks good for them. This is out of respect for both people, as you wouldn't really do a sloppy interview on, for example, someone like Ronaldo. You would do a professional one, run through it before, say post match, after when he's in his suit. Otherwise, there can be awkward silences, and it doesn't really look good for interviews. Next one is language. The language that is used is massive for a factor when you're doing any type of media, because you can't be swearing and using inappropriate language when interviewing people. The person you're interviewing may do that. However, again, you need to show that you're professional enough to not do this, and to make sure you give off the right impressions, as this is what interviewing is all about. You need to stay as the interviewer and not get it too sort of too casual. You can't be too casual. You always make sure with your language as well. It also comes to what language you're speaking. For example, if your normal language, say, is French, and you're interviewing someone who speaks English, you need to be speaking English. Otherwise, no one's going to know the questions that they're asking, and it wouldn't be a good interview. No one would have a clue what was going on. Next is local and national. This is huge because for a national interview, it would be all set up differently, so it wouldn't be sort of some little room with a camera in and a few prompt sheets. It would be set up properly in a big sort of, almost like UFC, when you have an interview in there. There's lots of microphones around, there's reporters wanting to ask them questions, and then they have their pre-fight sort of interviews with Dana White. Everything's pretty much planned out, apart from unpredictability that can be the fighters. The people who are doing their interviews are completely planned out with the questions they're going to be asked. They're already there, so it looks professional, and again, it doesn't look awkward when you're interviewing them. As opposed to a local one, if you had a local interview, it wouldn't be set out the same, so there wouldn't be as many people there. However, you still need to conduct yourself professionally at all times. Next is... Oh, save that didn't work, did it? Right, there we go. Right, radio. This differs from television because no one can see you. So you could be doing... You don't have to worry about what you look like as such. You don't have to worry about what you're doing. You can sort of relax, sit back, and then just sort of speak and give insight as to what you're saying. So to start with, we'll be talking about scripts. This is a big one for radio shows. So if someone again is being interviewed on a radio show, they can have a script completely already set out, so that all they've got to do is just completely read off it because no one can see what they're doing. This allows it to run smoothly, and some people might call it cheating, but it allows it to flow really well. So there's no awkward silences. Everyone knows what they're doing. Right, now we will be on to research. So on to research, you need to be... It sort of links to scripts because you can have everything already written down, all your research on a script, so you can say to people, or you can have little debates on there, and so everything's already set up. Again, research depends where different sources come from. However, it would already be all printed out from government sites, ready, and you can both look at these scripts that you could have these, and it looks better when you have more facts and figures for interviews. It looks more professional. Technical language. So this is a big one. Say if you have a football interviewer, he's been doing this a long time, he's interviewing a footballer, he'll be using the same technical language as them, so they both understand each other and know what they're on about, as opposed to someone, for example, who does the weather, interviewing a footballer. They're not going to understand the technical language, and they wouldn't be as keen to do it either. So you need to get the right person for the right job. Next is resource of information gathering. So again, this links into the research. You need to get your resources from different places and allow it to all come together. And you need to get these from trusted sites as well. You can't just get these from any old different government sites. You need to be able to make sure that these are legitimate resources you can use. Thank you. This is my finished screencast, and I hope you enjoyed it. Peace.